Hi, it's Alison and Lee from the Law School Toolbox. Welcome back. Today we're talking about resumes. Well, resumes are important. We all need them. We review a lot of resumes, both from people who want to work with us and with our students. Today, we want to share our top 10 resume tips.
Well, all this discussion of what to include leads us to tip number 6, which is to think about what information you don't include. We've mentioned this a little bit, like, is that 2-month job worth including? But again, if you don't include things, then I assume they don't exist usually. So if you don't include academic honors or law review, I assume that you don't have any academic honors or were on law review. If you don't include a GPA or a general ranking, oftentimes I assume that that's not something that's going to bolster your resume in the beginning of your career.
To be fair, not every school actually lets you put that. We were literally at Columbia not allowed to calculate a GPA and not allowed to put anything about there were no class ranks. Everyone was above average, of course. But it was very woebegone. But if your school permits it, or if you have, a generally relatively impressive class ranking and they let you put it on there. Yeah, these are things that should be on there. If you were on a journal, it should be on there.
Like a law review, or moot court.
I was saying moot court, yeah.
Did you do competitions? Anything that kind of sets you apart.
I would say if you weren't on any type of journal, there needs to be something else, ideally, that's making up for that. So it needs to be, a serious time investment in moot court or whatever it was that you spent your time doing. Hopefully there was something. Maybe you're doing a lot of pro bono work. There just needs to be something where we can look and say, oh, okay, maybe this person wasn't on a journal, but they were doing this other thing that was equally valid.
Yeah, there needs to be just something. Show me what makes your law school experience unique, especially if you aren't going to include a GPA. And I think that it's, even if your school allows you to do it, if it is not something that is your greatest asset and you decide to leave it off, then I think you need to say, what else makes you impressive? So, that's where awards or competitions or clinics or anything that sets you apart, journals, even if it's not the law review, if it's a different type of journal, that's still super valuable experience. But silence in this area just also says something.
Yeah. So, if you wrote a note, that can go on there. Anything, there's anything that's there. Sometimes we just see, X law review graduated this date, moving on.
Yeah.
And it's okay, did you just spend 3 years doing nothing? Surely you did something.
Right. Were you in leadership of the student bar association? Anything. Give me something.
Did you lead a club? Were you even in clubs? Worst case, join some clubs, put them down, try to get a leadership role. You can be vice president of any club you want.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So just include something, because also that gives the interviewer something to ask you about in the interview. And that's very helpful as well. You don't want to get the question of what did you do in law school?
Right. Or undergrad as well.
Or undergrad,
if you had any sort of, hopefully you were involved in something in undergrad. And if you weren't, because you were doing something else, like caring for a family member, working a lot, put that on the resume.
Yeah, exactly. All right. If you enjoyed this video, please take a second to give us a like and leave a comment. And be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any future content. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us at lawschooltoolbox.com.
Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more of our top 10 resume tips.